Okay, we're going to look at modifying your typingclub.com data sheet. We want to take this information up here and we want it to look like this down here. Let's start with the things that we covered right away is to get our text. In this cell here is one long run-on sentence. We can see that. And we wanted to make 3 different sentences here. So we want to put manual breaks after these words. So the first thing I'm looking for is, okay, after black bar, I'm going to put a break in there. Well, I read this and there's no black bar in there. I notice it says stop tab black bar. So I have to add right up here where the word left is. I got to replace that with black bar. So I've highlighted it and I can just start typing and it replaces the text. Now my cursor is in the place that I want the break to be. So I hold down the control key. I can see my cursor is blinking. Hold down the control key, hit enter, puts a break there. If I just hit enter, then it locks the text in. So double click on the cell, that gets me back into the cell. And then I look for the next spot in Speedbox and I want to put a break there. So in Speedbox, I place my cursor after the word box. I click there, there it is. Control enter, puts my manual break in there, hit enter, and it's done. All right, next one, do the same thing on this one over here. So put the manual breaks in there. So again, double click on the cell, put my cursor after the word bar. It's not in there, so I have to replace the text. Double click on that left, black bar, I just start typing. Need my break right there, control enter. After the word box, again, click there, control enter, and then enter, and the whole thing is locked in. So those are the same. So we're going to go through and fix the other cells so that they all look like these cells down here as far as the formatting goes. So go ahead and do that. All right, so I've went ahead and adjusted all the text in both lines, both rows, so that they match my image down here. Got my manual breaks like I want them. Now I'm going to look at the alignment. Looking at these are all centered. And if I look at this one here, this is 3 cells that are merged together. So we'll merge those first. So merging cells pretty easy. I select the 3 cells that I want to merge together, just like these are here. Select those, and under the format pull down, I've got merge cells, merge all, or the quick key is right here. Just click on the merge cells and click once, boom, and it merges all 3 of those cells together to one cell. Same thing for this one here. There's 2 cells merged together. So again, I select both of those, merge both of those. So those are merged. And I think that's all of them that are merged. So do that now. After you've merged the cells, now I want to look at the alignment of all of these. Notice all of my text down below here are all centered in the cells. So easy thing to do, I'll do just one of them. Like this one here, I want to center that so that they're all centered. People do not put spaces in there. I see people do this all the time. I'm going to put a space here and I'm going to get this thing centered in the center of the cell. I call those stupid. That's the stupid bar. That's stupid to put spaces in there because, yeah, that's centered there. But if I decide to add more words here, the very top section, now it's not centered anymore. It's put off to the side. So we don't do the space bars. What we do is we select the cell, and under the alignment tool here, I can align it to the far right. Now they're at the far right, or I can go back to the center. They're in the center. So I want to align all of my cells to the center. I can do that very quickly by selecting all of my cells and then going to the alignment, horizontal alignment, and boom, centered them. Now they're centered there. Lastly, looking at like this one here and this one here, they're up a little bit. And this one also, they're centered vertically as well. So again, I can select the whole row there. This row here, and I can go next to horizontal alignment is vertical alignment. So I can check that and center those in the middle. So now they're floating in the middle there. So go ahead and do that. Center your cells, center all your information on that row there. Last thing I'm going to do here, well, actually, the second to last thing, is I notice that this line here is all red. I like that red so it stands out better. Those are the directions. So I'm going to go ahead and select my text. And this is the fill that fills the whole cell. I don't want to fill the cell. I want to do the text color, which is this one here. Change that to red, and that one's red, so it matches that one there. And again, I can select multiple cells, go up there and select my text, red, does all of those red. So go ahead and do that on your text. And then a couple more things. Notice these have lines all around them, borders on all of them. So borders are easy to do. If I select a cell, I can go up here and I can tell it what border I want. I got a variety of things here. This is total outline, so all the cells that I select. So if I selected multiple cells and I selected outline, then it's just going to put an outline around both of those cells. What I want to do is I select the borders and I want to do borders, all borders, so that puts lines around all of the cells. So again, I can select all of mine, 2 rows worth of stuff, and borders there, and it puts borders around all of my text. So go ahead and get your borders on there. And the last thing I want to do, when I put my data up here, I'm going to have data down below all of this, and I'm going to put in, and later on, we're going to make some charts and graphs. To do that, we want to have our headers right next to our data. Well, our headers right now are up on row 1, and our instructions on where to find our headers are on row 2. So I want to flip those. Easy to do. Anytime I select a cell, when I've selected it, as I move my cursor slowly, I can see that it turns to a hand. When it turns to a hand, I can grab it and I can move it. So that moves cells. I can do the same thing. I'm going to undo that. I can do the same thing with rows too. So I want to move this whole row to the top. So I'm going to select this row and I'm just going to click and drag it up and it moves it to the top. Now my headers are on the bottom section and my instructions are on the top and it's all prettified. Go ahead and move your rows. Okay, last thing I'm going to show you is if we needed to resize things. If I decided I wanted my instructions to be at 10 size font, which it is now, and I wanted my headers to be in 12 size font, I can select that whole row, or I can just click and drag through those cells, and I can change this to 12. Now they're a little bit bigger. I like that. It stands out a little better. I could even bold them if I wanted to. The problem I run into is you can see that they kind of run over the edge a little bit. So I need to make those a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the middle of this. So what I do is I move between the 2 letters until my cursor changes to double arrows. And then I can click and I can move it over a little bit. And now it shows me it's a little bit bigger. Still doesn't quite fit on this one, so I'm going to move it over there. And you always grab the edge to the right of the column that you're going to work on. Another quick way to do this is if I go to that border and if I double click when it turns to double arrows, it will automatically adjust it to what Google thinks I need it to have. So it leaves a little bit of padding around it, but I can still see. So that's kind of a quick way to do some of these columns, get them adjusted just right. I'd want this to be as small as possible. I don't want to have big, huge columns because I want to have room to put my charts and graphs over here later on. So that's why I want to keep this as tight as small as possible because I'm only going to be putting numbers in here. So I don't need to have a lot of space. So like on the date, I could bring this one down. I could double click on it and it shrinks it down a little bit because I don't need a lot of space for the date. So go ahead and adjust your column width, make your instructions, your headers, make those size 12. Your instructions where to find the stuff is size 10 in red, and then adjust your column widths. So go ahead and do that, and that should be it for now.